All right, so I have with me in the studio Simia, who grew up in the Clarence Valley, and she's telling us a bit of how her music has been influenced, and she's living in Brisbane at the moment. Now, Simia, as you've already alluded to, or you've actually said that you're a transgender woman, and you've only been out a couple of years, but you're quite comfortable speaking about it. How's that been expressed in your music?
I think the main thing was that I think I lived a double life my whole life, and it was hidden, and you end up in a place where lying becomes just a defense mechanism and very natural, and then it becomes something that's a massive burden, and it became more and more of a burden, and then in the end I just went, I can't live like this, I need to be who I am. And I think that the main change with the music was that it's easy to write a put down song or a broken hearted song. They're the most easy. Bob Dylan, I love Bob Dylan, massive fan. But a lot of his stuff, Ballad of the Thin Man or even like a Rolling Stone, they're put down. They're not empowering. And I made a conscious decision that everything I was writing was going to uplift somehow. I don't feel like it's my job to educate anyone. But,
no, but it's part of your story.
But tell the stories that empower myself first, and then hopefully others through that telling of that story. And so some of it's just good time rock and roll,
I know. I've seen a few of your videos.
And party dress and kicking up the heels.
And you can certainly play that guitar, and we will be hearing some of that in a couple of minutes. No, well, thank you for sharing that. Can I just ask, at what age did you not come out, but did you find that you finally had the ability to face how things are? Gee, I'm making a balls up of it.
No, it's a difficult thing because it's sort of a bit of a sliding scale. I always knew I was this way, and at a very early age I found out it wasn't safe. I would be picked on and bullied, and I made a conscious decision to sort of pretend to be a boy. I actually was talking to a very old friend of my family today, and she's just lovely. She said I walked in today and she said, I've never seen you smile like that. She said, you always seem to have this sadness, and it seems to be gone. And it's so true. I did a gig the other week, and someone who's known me for years said, after I'd done my set, they got on the microphone and they said, I've known Simi for a long time, and I've never seen her music as joyous as it is now, and that's my life.
Well, I can attest to that, because the moment you knocked on the door to come into the studio, your face just lit up, and it was lit up.
I just want to say, Dean, that I am incredibly fortunate. So many people, not just trans people, but all different lifestyle choices, I guess, even though that's a bit of a funny word, like it's a choice. They get... I have amazing family support. My 90-year-old mum is just amazing. She calls me a daughter. She just has accepted me as a daughter. My sisters and my brothers are all fantastic. My friends, it's just... And that's not everyone's experience. I mean, sometimes people have to run away from... And I've actually run back. Come back to actually reconnect with some of the people here.
Yeah, and being growing up in a regional area and coming out as a trans woman would have been possibly harder than being in a city. But that's not the reason why you went to Brisbane. It was for musical purposes, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, and I met some trans women that are living in the Clarence. And I've got amazing respect for them. Everywhere's everywhere now, and the world has become so much better place. My friend Janelle Brown, who used to run the Aboriginal Healing Centre, which I've been to quite a few times, and it's an amazing place. And I actually would like to say that for everybody out there, the Aboriginal Healing Centre isn't a healing centre for Aboriginal people. It's a healing centre for everybody. and I'm white, but I've received much healing from there. And just the presentness, just the acceptance, the lovely nature of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say anybody who's curious, just call in to the Aboriginal Healing Centre.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is in
Grafton.
Yep.
Yeah. And Janelle just gave me a copy yesterday of The Deadly Examiner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first time it's ever happened in Australia that a mainstream publication has given its whole issue to Indigenous issues, and to think that that's happened in Grafton.
I like the name. I like the choice of name, The Deadly Examiner.
The Deadly Examiner. And I think that's just fantastic. That it shows that the world is becoming a more inclusive place. You know? And that's definitely been my experience. And it's great. And we can. One of the songs that I like to play today actually.
Yes, well, I was about to say, would you like to perform the song for us? Since you've got your guitar here, and I'll just put the microphone on.
Well, this song is actually. There we go. I've been calling this song, playing for a while, and it's called been calling it Just a Ride, but I've renamed it in memory of northern New South Wales beaches because there ain't nothing like them.
Okay.
And it uses a special tuning, which I dropped my G string down to F sharp. So it got a good laugh the other night.
I'll bet it did.
Colour that reminds you of childhood, shining bright stone in the sand, the ocean of rest and fury, pandanus on the headland. Memories play tricks on your memories. Can you hear right now? Remember the colour of rain. Can you see what it is for what it is? Can you not accuse, judge or blame? Just treat everyone the same, 'cause it's all just a ride, it's all just a game, it's always the same, till it ain't. And if I could tell you a story that would question your answers and give you all your desire, eventually we're gonna see that it's all just a ride. Yeah, it's all just a game. So let's have some fun. Who can deny us kicking up our heels and remembering it's all just a ride. It's all just a ride.
Oh, that's wonderful, Simi. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's amazing. I'm sitting here. I feel like it's a personal performance just for me.
It was.
That's excellent. I've been getting messages, so I haven't been ignoring you, but I've been getting messages from people saying they're really liking it.
Oh, cool.
So that's excellent. Thank you. So what did you end up calling the song after all?
Well, I am going to call it In Memory of Northern New South Wales Beaches.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
It's all about, well, the concept, the idea, was a colour that reminds you of childhood, and so much of my childhood was spent on these beaches, and you see a pebble and it'll bring back a memory, but memory's a bit funny. It's not always accurate, and it is just a ride. It's just we're here for a good time, not a long time.
Well, that's right. Exactly right.
That sort of stuff, yeah.
A good friend of mine said that many years ago as well, and absolutely right. Okay, what I was going to do, I was just going to give you a break for a moment. Now, I've just got to find this song, that a particular one I wanted to play for you. But I mentioned to you when we chatted a while back that I wondered if you might have a T-Rex influence. Maybe, maybe not. Where do your influences musically come from?
Oh, they're very, very broad. I've been described as a rock chick, and
yes.
I'll wear that badge with honour.
Well, I've seen the video of you playing at Pink Floyd's Time, so
yes.
that was pretty awesome.